The present perfect tense in German is the most commonly used past tense in the German language. It consists of two parts. There's an auxiliary verb, always haben or sein, which you need to conjugate in second position, and the past participle form of the verb. And this is the ge word. In German, there are weak verbs, irregular weak verbs, and strong verbs. And just by looking at the verb, you cannot determine whether it's weak or strong. You have to know it. You have to memorize the past participles of the verbs. Now, weak verbs are predictable. There's a rule you can follow, but strong verbs, there's a list of verbs that you just need to memorize. So how do past participles work? We have lernen, a weak verb, gelernt, starts with ge and ends in t. There's no stem change. Denken, an example of an irregular weak verb, starts with ge, ends in t, but there's a stem change. And then gehen is a strong verb, starts with ge, ends in en, and there's a stem change, gegangen. Now there are a few other verbs that have followed other rules, and by looking at them, you can tell a little bit what's going on with them. Verbs that in the infinitive and in iren are always weak and do not take the ge prefix. Fotografiert. Ausgegangen is a separable prefix verb, and you insert a ge between prefix and stem. Ausgegangen. Verkaufen is an inseparable prefix verb, ends in t in this one and has no ge prefix. So verkauft. Here are a few examples of verbs in context. Ich habe letzte Woche viel gelernt. Hat an mich gedacht. Wir sind ins Kino gegangen. Ich habe gern fotografiert. Sie ist nicht ausgegangen. Hat das Buch schon verkauft. And you see in each of these sentences, the auxiliary verb is in second position and the past participle is at the end of the sentence. The present perfect tense in German is the most commonly used past tense in the German language. It consists of two parts, an auxiliary verb or a helping verb in second position, and the past participle form of the verb at the end of the clause. For the auxiliary verb, we have two choices, haben or sein, conjugated in second position, and then the past participle form of the verb, we have to determine first whether our main verb is a weak verb, an irregular weak verb, or a strong verb. Weak verbs are also regular verbs, also known as T verbs, take a ge prefix and end in T. They don't have a stem change. Irregular weak verbs have a ge prefix, a T ending, but have a stem change. And then strong verbs have a ge prefix, an en ending, and their stem changes. Here are a few examples. For an example for a weak verb, gelernt, for the verb lernen, to learn. Gedacht, for the verb denken, to think. Gegangen, for the verb gehen, to go. A few more categories. These are kind of exceptions, but a little bit more predictable pattern. The verb fotografieren, the infinitive ends in iren, and all verbs ending in iren are weak and in t, have no stem change, but also do not take a ge prefix. Ausgehen is a separable prefix verb. The one thing to remember with separable prefix verbs is that the ge goes between prefix and stem. And then for inseparable prefix verbs, we do not have a ge. Here are a few examples. In context, ich habe letzte Woche viel gelernt. Hat an mich gedacht. Wir sind ins Kino gegangen. Ich habe gern fotografiert. Sie ist nicht ausgegangen. Hat das Buch schon verkauft. In all these sentences, you can see that the auxiliary verb haben or sein is in second position, conjugated to agree with the subject, and the past participle is at the end of the clause. We have weak verbs, irregular weak, strong. We have iren verbs, separable prefix, inseparable prefix verbs.